Hello everyone and welcome back to SVR 11 Universe. My name is Jitch and this is SmackDown. We are kicking things off with tag team action featuring Chris Jericho and Edge teaming up for the first time just 2 days before they fight for the tag team titles.
The following tag team contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, weighing in at 226 pounds, Chris Jericho.
As much as I think some people may respect the idea of Teddy Long, the SmackDown General Manager, to partner Jericho with Edge, there are a few disgruntled people, from Rob Van Dam and Yoshitatsu all the way through to the Legacy, Straight Edge Society, and just about everyone in between. I'm trying to think who else is missing, because I know there's 5 teams. Every team, well, actually I think I've just listed them all. Yeah, it'd be the Legacy, the Straight Edge Society, and RBD and Tatsu, because the other 2 teams are the ones involved with the tag titles right now. So yeah, actually, never mind what I was saying. I did get it right. All 3 of these teams have been quite upset at the idea that Jericho and Edge could just be randomly thrown together, never team up together, and then get a tag title shot at WrestleMania. So the Straight Edge Society have, of course, taken it upon themselves to say that they're going to have to at least get through them first if they really want to get that shot at WrestleMania. So we're about to see just how good of chemistry Jericho and Edge really have before they challenge for the tag team titles, and of course before Jericho wishfully goes for the Intercontinental title as well. There's a lot in it for Jericho. Very interested in seeing how far this team can go, if they become a flash in the pan, a one-night deal. You know, they go to WrestleMania, they fight for the tag titles, win or lose, they just kind of barely do anything together and then fade apart. Maybe the draft rips them apart, you know. And obviously the possibility that they just don't actually work as a team. That could be what we find out in this match now. We've not seen any interaction, any communication between Jericho and Edge. So for them to go up against a team that's a bit more experienced together, like the Straight Edge Society, it's going to be very interesting to see how they actually do.
And their opponents, at a combined weight of 492 pounds, Luke Gallows and CM Punk.
For those that may be curious as to why CM Punk is wearing a mask, in the past few weeks on SmackDown, Rey Mysterio and CM Punk engaged in a hell of a feud with each other about who belonged in the Money in the Bank ladder match. The feud kind of came to a halt, came to an end, we thought, when CM Punk lost to Rey Mysterio in a match in which they had signed off a deal that if CM Punk were to win, he would be guaranteed and added to the Money in the Bank ladder match. But if he were to lose, as he did, he would no longer be able to show his face here on the SmackDown brand, implying that he would have to leave SmackDown. However, CM Punk read between the lines, found a loophole, and went with, "No longer allowed to show my face." And that leads us to what we're dealing with now, a masked CM Punk on SmackDown. Really just finding anything he can to stay on the blue brand. I don't know what he's got against Raw, but he's still here on SmackDown with Luke Gallows. Straight Edge Society have been having a few issues amongst themselves, though. CM Punk feeling that Luke Gallows has been a bit of a letdown and a bit of a failure for the team since they started teaming up, and that he could do better, which is quite funny because I think Luke Gallows' win-loss record is actually better than CM Punk's.
And King, I know you're just as excited about being in Toronto as you are about this match.
Interesting that it's Gallows that started things off for the Straight Edge Society. Last week they 2-on-1 attacked Rey Mysterio, but Luke Gallows has not exactly been a stranger to competing in tag team matches. This is actually, admittedly though, only what their 3rd or 4th time actually teaming up together. They've mostly just been known as an alliance than they have been as a tag team. There we see the first little bit of tag team chemistry between the two. Not entirely matching, admittedly. They didn't do the best job in coordinating, but well, they are still a fresh team.
Edge's mind so calculating, at times deranged, but always dangerous.
So interested in seeing what the future holds for Jericho and Edge as a tag team. They've got so many years ahead of them where they'll both be, I think, prominent stars on SmackDown. And of course, Edge is no stranger to CM Punk. Last week, though, Edge suffered one hell of a beatdown inside of the steel cage against the Big Show. They're actually taking a small break from being beaten up by the Big Show to compete in this tag team match, where we might actually see Jericho and Edge do something other than get hurt by the Big Show. That is kind of my concern when it comes to that double title match at WrestleMania, is that I feel like The Miz is going to retain both his titles without even doing anything. He doesn't really need to be tagged in at any point at WrestleMania. The Big Show is clearly going to be the guy that starts the match, and that might honestly be all they even need. Things are not looking too favorable for Jericho and Edge. Humongous German suplex there, bringing down Edge as CM Punk looks to, I don't know, he dragged him to the center of the ring for something, I'm sure, but it didn't quite work in his favor, whatever it was.
Oh man, how much damage did that cause to the neck? Oh, ow!
There you go, another quick slam down, and Punk thinking he's got this one all finished with. Tell you what, Edge really needs to make that tag to Chris Jericho. This has not been his match.
He desperately needs to make a tag here. And he tags out.
There you go. Oh, hey. Well, someone's obviously not forgotten about the issues between the two. You know, you don't exactly forget about being 2-on-1 attacked, I'd imagine. Rey Mysterio has come to the corner of Edge and Chris Jericho, I'd imagine.
Ouch!
I don't know, he's just kind of pacing out there.
Look at this. Oh,
Jericho with a bulldog of his own.
Jericho going for the cover.
1, 2.
And he makes the save, stopping
Okay.
either of his opponents from getting an advantage.
Yeah, Mysterio definitely in the corner of Jericho and Edge, as if there was ever any doubt.
Punk controlling the waist.
He's got him hooked.
Punk into the headlock.
That may have put Jericho's lights out.
I really look forward to seeing the rivalry between Chris Jericho and The Miz come to an end at WrestleMania, initially starting out as the first ever WWE Tag Team Champions, winning them on Christmas Day last year. Jericho never rightfully lost the tag team titles. The fact of the matter is, even if they lose to Show Miz, there is kind of a moment there for Big Show, in the sense of that he has actually beaten the former champion now. Rey Mysterio really teasing getting involved in this match. He clearly holds something quite deep against CM Punk at this point, and I guess Luke Gallows to a degree too now as well.
Oh man!
Edge with the arm. Edge.
There you go, execution.
Drives his opponent's face right into the ground.
He's in bad shape.
In classic Edge fashion. No, okay. Is it by the, oh, it's by the head in this game. Okay. Setting up for the spear. Got all of that one. Luke Gallows knocked off the apron. Edge is going for the pin. I think CM Punk might be suffering what is like his 12th loss. Yeah, there it is. CM Punk continues to be the biggest loser in the first season.
You think you know me?
Here are your winners. The Rated R Super.
Well, they needed this win a lot more, I will admit.
Chris Jericho.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say that Edge and Chris Jericho, they needed this win. They needed to show the SmackDown roster and prove to themselves at the same time that they do belong in that Tag Team Championship match this Sunday. And whether that did or not prove it to everyone else, it proved to themselves that they can work together as a team and that they may be ready to win Tag Team Gold in just 2 days' time. Okay, well, Contenders match for the Women's Championship about to get underway. We're going to find out who's going to challenge Michelle McCool between Eve and Beth Phoenix at WrestleMania. Oh, okay. Well, I got to say, no hard feelings to you, Eve, but to be honest, this actually makes a lot of sense. Beth Phoenix determined to get back her Women's Championship after being outnumbered back at Elimination Chamber. I guess it would make sense that she would take it upon herself to stoop to this low to make sure that she is definitely the new contender, or the guaranteed contender for the Women's Championship. And just like that, a quick defiant attack is all it took to make Beth Phoenix definitely in line for getting her rematch at WrestleMania. I say, I don't think that was anything personal between Beth Phoenix and Eve. I think Phoenix just really wanted to make sure that she is definitely in line for what she feels she never rightfully lost. And I guess we'll find out if Beth Phoenix can become a two-time Women's Champion in just 2 days at WrestleMania. What a big deal. Absolutely crazy how quick that one went by, but Beth Phoenix was not about to stand back and let someone who had done nothing to earn a shot get a shot, unfortunately. Okay, I've been waiting for this for some time. That is one reluctant man right there.
Is an over-the-top rope 6-man battle royal. And he's for the $1 Million Championship. Introducing first, from West Palm Beach, Florida, weighing in at 238 pounds, Ted DiBiase.
DiBiase said he could definitely beat The Undertaker last week in the Gauntlet match, and he said, if I can't, then Teddy Long, feel free to book my $1 Million title in a match of your choice, because I know I can win against The Undertaker. I got bad news for him. He did not beat The Undertaker. So, Ted DiBiase is going to defend his $1 Million title. And Teddy Long has made this really hard for him. He doesn't even have to be pinned or submitted to lose it. This is an over-the-top rope $1 Million Championship Battle Royal. 5 people are going to get their shots. And first up is the Gold Standard.
Introducing the challenger from Orangeburg, South Carolina, weighing 248 pounds, the Gold Standard, Shelton Benjamin.
Gold Standard Shelton Benjamin is Teddy Long's first choice in this Battle Royal. Definitely a fitting one. The name is literally the Gold Standard, and I mean, quite a lot of that championship is made out of it. I mean, admittedly, most championships are. I think that's why he called himself the Gold Standard, you know? But, I think this is going to be an interesting first choice. Let's say, an over-the-top rope Battle Royal, there's really no one that you can favor in that kind of situation. It's just going to be a tough one to survive in the predicament that DiBiase's in. Okay. Dolph Ziggler.
Introducing the challenger from Hollywood, California, weighing 223 pounds, Dolph Ziggler.
Doesn't really sound like Teddy Long was going for a popularity contest with the crowd. Neither of his 2 choices so far have been exactly applauded. But Dolph Ziggler, I think, could benefit from getting a championship around his waist, whether it be a random dollar sign covered jewel encrusted belt or the world title. I think he could certainly use that beginning of that rise to the top. Gonna be very interesting to see what Dolph Ziggler does if he is to become $1 Million champion. Okay, he's a bit of a popular choice. Definitely would fit him quite well.
From Hollywood, California, Goldust.
Got a little bit of a warmer reception. Goldust is definitely someone that I think the $1 Million title would suit incredibly well, to be honest. A very interesting choice. As I say, definitely quite fitting, quite becoming. I think Teddy Long kind of wants to use this as a championship for the lower guys on SmackDown to compete for, like the Gold Dusts and the Dolph Zigglers and the recently departed Primos and the recently departed JTGs and the recently departed Finleys and Shad Gaspards. Teddy, you might need to buff back out your roster before you try getting another belt. The draft will balance it back out, don't worry. I'm aware SmackDown's roster takes the biggest hit from it because it's still got a few more to go. But the draft will straighten things out, and obviously when 12 comes around, there'll be new people too. Okay, Vladimir Kozlov.
Introducing the challenger from Moscow, weighing 302 pounds, Vladimir Kozlov.
Someone big, someone imposing. Definitely not the... I don't think the belt would, like, suit him personally, but I think that he could use some championship gold. Absolutely. Vladimir Kozlov, the 5th guy out in this matchup. The champion DiBiase so far has been met by Shelton Benjamin, Dolph Ziggler, Goldust, and Vladimir Kozlov. There's one more participant left to be revealed, and you knew it just had to be.
Introducing the challenger from Tokyo, Japan, weighing in at 220 pounds, Yoshi Tatsu.
Returned from injury last night on ECW and suffered a quick, unfortunate loss to Ezekiel Jackson, but he just might be able to bounce back from it yet. Yoshi Tatsu getting an opportunity at the $1 Million Championship. What a great opportunity this could be. Our little boy all grown up. Well, here we go. DiBiase has got to be hating every second of this until this one's over. He's just got to pray that he doesn't get thrown over those ropes. I have left this one purely down to fate. I don't know what's going to happen. Any outcome is fine. I realize that Shelton Benjamin is leaving soon, but I wouldn't mind him holding some gold before he goes. That's kind of what I meant by, like, sending people off right. Like, I feel like if he loses this, then yeah, we'll probably say goodbye to him. Just because why not? You know, there's nowhere to go from here, really. But if he wins it, this could be the start of at least a little mini push before his contract runs up. Dolph Ziggler could be eliminated first from the match by Yoshi Tatsu. And yes! Yes, he is. I guess we know who wore white and blue better. Goldust could be out next at the hands of Vladimir Kozlov. Would have thought that... Yeah, there goes Goldust. I would have thought these guys would have been assigned the mission of making sure that DiBiase drops the belt, but it seems like they're all in it for themselves. We know that DiBiase actually, he gave a $1 Million title shot to Yoshi Tatsu. He was the first man to ever challenge for the $1 Million Championship, handed an opportunity by Ted DiBiase, who was literally just wiped sweat off of his head, feeling relieved that 2 people are already out of the ring. Wants to keep the $1 Million Championship around his waist. Make his father proud. That is actually a belt invented by his dad, also of the name Ted DiBiase, for those that don't know, somehow. Used in many other wrestling promotions. One. And, yeah, I think he's definitely going to be sweating it. That is not a place you want to be if you're Ted DiBiase. That is not even... Technically, that's Daddy's belt. He's going to lose. DiBiase hanging on just by the bottom rope. Oh, but he manages to stay in. Very nice.
The neck isn't supposed to bend like that. An elbow. Yoshi Tatsu squeezing.
DiBiase doing everything in his power to get the big man Vladimir Kozlov out of the match. That would be probably the most secure his belt has felt. There's one guy who stands a good chance in a battle royal. I guess realistically it's always going to be the bigger man. DiBiase is desperate to keep that championship.
Oh, big kick echoing around the arena. Oh my, just raw.
Pardon me.
Mitigated power. Oh wow.
Oh, it's come down to these 4.
Kick to the gut.
It was Gold Dust and Dolph Ziggler out really fast in this one. Ziggler out first, Gold Dust out shortly after. But now the competition is actually starting to occur. We're actually starting to see these guys try and fight it out. My money is on Yoshitatsu or Shelton Benjamin, but it's primarily on Yoshitatsu. Uh-oh. Wow, DiBiase completely passing up the opportunity to knock Benjamin off the ropes there. Vladimir Kozlov's not going to pass up, and Yoshitatsu looking to be the man to make Teddy Long proud. No, never mind.
Right to the chin with the knee.
Tatsu, oh no, that's not gonna get anybody out. Especially not walking away from him right afterwards. I don't know what Tatsu was thinking there. Nothing. Evidently just nothing. That's what he was thinking. He wasn't thinking. And no, Vladimir Kozlov is still in this. Making sure of it. DiBiase, the champion, is once again at jeopardy of losing his championship, his property, handing it over to SmackDown. There he goes! Well, that is it. DiBiase has lost the rights to the $1 Million Championship. He always said if anyone was to ever take it away from him, it would no longer be his property, because that's what it was. It was his property. Everyone else here would gladly have it be a part of SmackDown rather than just this belt that they're holding. So, I think we can officially say it's a part of SmackDown now. There goes Tatsu. That's a disappointing outcome. Vladimir Kozlov and Shelton Benjamin are the final two in this one. My money is on the gold standard. I think he would look fantastic with that $1 Million title.
What a punch! They lock up.
Really slowed down now. I know I haven't even mentioned our main event for tonight. Still to come up next. Our final main event before we hit WrestleMania. It is The Undertaker going one-on-one with The Rock for the first time, as he looks to get that little bit of extra momentum before facing Randy Orton inside Hell in a Cell in just 2 days' time. Undertaker needs to know that he is 100%, he is ready to compete before he faces off against Randy Orton after not one but two 3-on-1 matches. Admittedly, last week was by his own choice, and it was a 3-on-1 in the sense of that he had to work through each individual member of the Legacy, but nonetheless, it was still 3-on-1 in a way.
Shelton escapes that one. Oh,
This is definitely looking more like Kozlov's match right now, I gotta say. Shelton Benjamin finally coming back, but he's showing signs of hurt, and that is not good. Cannot afford that when a title that no man has ever held other than DiBiase is on the line.
oh, it doesn't get more punishing than that.
Who wants to be the guy to say that they brought that championship to property of SmackDown?
Kozlov.
Big choke slam by Vladimir Kozlov.
The athleticism of Shelton saves him there. Oh my, just raw, unmitigated power. The Soviet war machine.
Continuous back and forth between these guys, and Kozlov's got Shelton Benjamin on the ropes, looking to throw him over, looking to be the second ever $1 Million Champion, and that is it. Vladimir Kozlov is bringing home the $1 Million Championship. A very unusual choice, but realistically he was the favorite, just out of sheer size. Ted DiBiase says goodbye to his $1 Million Championship. Still? No. New. Vladimir Kozlov with a belt that couldn't suit him less. I don't think DiBiase's going to be getting out of those hands anytime soon. Well, Vladimir Kozlov is the $1 Million champion. I don't know what more to say. Oh, this is it. Main event time on SmackDown. The very last match before WrestleMania begins. A guy who has the potential to be the future of this business, to earn a humongous victory 2 days before WrestleMania. The Rock has been given the honors of going one-on-one with the World Heavyweight Champion, The Undertaker. And I'll tell you what, if we see any sign of Randy Orton, don't expect The Rock to turn down the opportunity to pin The Undertaker off of that distraction. You know he's going to. This is what his career is all about. He needs this match. I'm sure The Rock would love to be walking into WrestleMania 2 next year, holding the world title or challenging for the world title. Obviously popular enough from that crowd reaction alone, so just a matter of when, not a matter of if. As we await The Undertaker. And here we go. The World Heavyweight Champion set to meet Randy Orton in one of the main events at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight title inside Hell in a Cell. It will be the first time that these longtime rivals have actually faced off one-on-one.
And his opponent from Death Valley, weighing 299 pounds, he is the World Heavyweight Champion, The Undertaker.
To give you a little bit of a tale of the tape of the World Heavyweight Championship situation, and what I mean by the fact that they've had a long rivalry where they've never actually faced each other one-on-one. It was all the way back in the very first episode, Survivor Series. They were both involved in the championship scramble match for the World Heavyweight title that was won by that man, The Undertaker. Then at TLC, Randy Orton became the contender for the World Heavyweight Championship alongside The Big Show, and Randy Orton ended up winning the Triple Threat TLC match by knocking Undertaker off the top of a ladder and retrieving the belt. No pinfalls or submissions handed over either guy in that title exchange. At the Royal Rumble, Randy Orton faced off against The Big Show. Their rivalry took a small pause there. Undertaker, I think, competed in the Royal Rumble match. At Elimination Chamber just last month, they both faced off once again inside the Elimination Chamber alongside Big Show, Chris Jericho, CM Punk, and The Rock, and I believe it was I can't remember who it was that eliminated Randy Orton. I believe it was CM Punk that eliminated Randy Orton and cost him the World Heavyweight title, and then Undertaker went on to eliminate CM Punk in the finals to become the World Heavyweight Champion for a second time. The title has never changed hands or been defended by either man when they've gone against each other. They have never actually had a pinfall or submission over each other until the gauntlet match most recently. But admittedly, once again, it almost kind of tainted because it was a 3-on-1 match. Randy Orton was Undertaker's third opponent. We've not actually seen in a world title matchup these two face off and see who the bigger and better man actually is via pinfall submission only, and that is what we're going to finally find out when Hell in a Cell is lowered around the ring and those two face off for the world title. But right now, The Rock is absolutely bringing it to The Undertaker, no pun intended.
Undertaker brings such a mythical
Straight into
presence
the
to
corner, and this is going to be an interesting battle. This is a first time face off. They were both inside the Elimination Chamber. I can't actually remember who eliminated The Rock off the top of my head. I believe he was the first to go, though. All the popularity in the world, but just not quite there yet. Maybe when he gets a few more tattoos and shaves his head, maybe then he'll stand a better chance. I don't mean when, I mean if. Maybe a redesigning is what he needs, is what I'm trying to say.
Undertaker, the man from the dark side, never ceases to amaze. There's the uppercut. Has the arm.
A nice reversal by the Undertaker. He's in big trouble.
Rock. Into
Rock.
the headlock. He's taking out the trash.
I definitely think we'll see an appearance from Randy Orton at some point. I know that often I'm a bit surprised when people will show up, but honestly, I'd be more surprised if Randy Orton didn't show up when it came to this one. We're 2 days away from WrestleMania, and one of his legacy members has just been humiliated in a 6-man battle royal won by Vladimir Kozlov. In a recent update of the Vladimir Kozlov and the $1 million title, by the way, in case anyone's curious, apparently he's been seen in the back throwing it in the trash. I'm not quite sure what to make of that. Just thought I'd mention it to you. Vladimir Kozlov has been seen disposing of the $1 million championship. He didn't hand it over to Teddy like we were expecting. He scrapped it. I don't really know what to say about that, to be honest with you.
What a great match we have here on Friday Night SmackDown.
The dead man from behind.
And there's a counter by the most electrifying man in sports entertainment.
The force, my
We'll have some more developments on Vladimir Kozlov and the $1 million title to come. Apparently Teddy Long is not upset about it. So this may be part of his master plan. Maybe he wanted to scrap it all along. Whatever the situation, be sure to tune into that part that most people skip at the end to find out.
An aggressive shot to the midsection.
He's got him.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you just tuned in, this is our main event of the evening.
He's got him hooked.
Very interesting to see how long a match between these two goes. If we're in for a match circa Triple H and, well, a la, I should say, not circa, Triple H and Batista this past Monday on Raw, or if this is going to be a one-sided match.
He might have been losing some of his grip there anyway. Probably figured it would be better to release the hold now before his opponent could counter it.
Undertaker.
I must say that The Rock has definitely not really shown that he is quite ready for the likes of The Undertaker.
The WWE Universe has to be on the edge of its seat for this one. Playing mind games.
Yeah, a little
Just keep getting worse for The Rock.
What should the People's Champ be looking to do?
This
now?
ain't good.
What he needs to do is
Oh.
pick up the pace and just use
That's
his
good.
speed to
That's what The
dictate
Rock
the rest of this
needs.
Oh my, just raw.
Tell you, I think a single choke slam, tombstone pin combo, and we're looking at a nice easy win for The Undertaker at this pace. Obviously, the World Heavyweight Champion is very much saying that he is ready for WrestleMania.
incredible series of moves there. Nobody's budging an inch.
About to say his first WrestleMania. I realize it's everyone's first WrestleMania. It's the first WrestleMania.
A textbook suplex.
Watch it. He looks fired up here.
Rock controlling the waist.
Great counter. by the
Oh, not looking good for Undertaker. The Rock's getting all fired up. He's Umaga-ing himself.
Undertaker has the headlock.
Watch it. That was like a freight train.
Oh, we got a rock bottom attempt. No,
Again, this is our main event of the evening.
not happening today, buddy.
The force,
Excuse me.
my God.
My voice is starting to like dry out again.
Rock controlling the arm.
Oh, it doesn't get more punishing than that.
WrestleMania is so close. Oh shit! I hate when that happens.
Think of the wars under.
I know that like the trick is to just not use running grapples as much, but I don't know. I mean they do fit into matches. I try not to spam them as much as like Universe, you know, circa 2014.
And there's a counter by the most electrifying man in sports entertainment.
I do try to keep the matches as varied as I can, because I'm aware that it's boring to watch someone just kind of spam the same moves. It's just that, admittedly, in my defense, this game actually doesn't really have that many moves to choose from.
Undertaker, the legend grows and grows.
Ah, boy.
Undertaker.
You want to be anywhere but in this position when you're up against the Undertaker. I think that we've just seen this one come to an end, and Randy Orton is nowhere in sight.
Got to cover.
1, 2.
I actually think I find it more strange that Randy Orton did not show up at the end there. Well, the World Heavyweight Champion gets that last little bit of momentum and to openly declare to the world that he is ready for Randy Orton and WrestleMania, which is just 2 days away. That man right there will defend the World Heavyweight title against Randy Orton inside Hell in a Cell. First ever WrestleMania coming your way. That is the next thing in line. Can't wait. But first of all, on a side note, now that we've reached like the little bonus part. So, here's some interesting stuff. I would have done a story designer cutscene for this, but it doesn't exist in this game. So, I can't do a story designer cutscene for this one. Vladimir Kozlov has done exactly what Teddy Long wanted. Teddy Long wanted to get the $1 million title off of Ted DiBiase Jr. And he wanted to do away with the $1 million title and introduce something that the fans have been wanting all along. So, ladies and gentlemen, Vladimir Kozlov has been rewarded for acquiring the $1 million championship, the Hardcore title. And of course, with that being said, be sure to go down into the comments below and let us know who you want to be Vladimir Kozlov's first opponent at WrestleMania when the Hardcore title makes its comeback. Oh yeah. Alright, Shelton Benjamin, sorry buddy, but I honestly think that was the best send-off you're gonna get. Came down to the very end and didn't win. So, that's another name scratched off, unfortunately. Him and Matt, I really wanted to give better send-offs, but I just don't know how I could have, to be honest. I'm just going to get rid of Archer now too, to be honest. We're not really going to do anything with him, are we? Let's be honest. I'll remove his alliance with Nemesis. It never went anywhere. So I'll just go ahead and write him off as well. I just want the draft to be like as clean and as useful of what we've got left as possible, because I know what we've got left is actually quite small. Trying to think, who else do I want to just get rid of now? If there is anyone else. I can't actually remember who's left. I know it was literally just the last episode I did this. I am sorry. I know you're all probably just waiting to see like what the WrestleMania preview is. Gallows, I still want to keep him for a little while. He's a bit too involved in main stuff to get rid of. And obviously the same with Melina. She's the Divas champion. So Gallows and Melina, they still have a little bit of time on them. David Hart Smith's already booked for WrestleMania, and I think the only one left was Jericho. So it's just Gallows, Melina, Jericho, and David Hart Smith, and they're all booked for WrestleMania. Or Gallows isn't booked for WrestleMania, but he's currently very involved in a main story. So here's your WrestleMania preview. A Money in the Bank ladder match. It has gone with Evan Bourne from Raw, Drew McIntyre from Raw, Chavo Guerrero from Raw, Goldust from SmackDown, Rob Van Dam from SmackDown, and Nemesis from SmackDown. That will probably change several times over, so don't take that as the confirmed participants for Money in the Bank. That's a very weird first lineup for Money in the Bank, by the way. I really don't know who I'd have win that, other than maybe McIntyre or Bourne. I don't really know, like, because RVD is going to be gone soon. So ideally, I wouldn't have him in that. I'm kind of curious. Hang on. I'm kind of curious. I've not actually been able to test this until now. If I change RVD to someone else, does it come up with that thing where it says changing participants changes the match? It doesn't. That's interesting. We might be able to change the participants after all. I don't know. I don't really want to fuck with it too much, to be honest. But also, in the world of probably wrong WrestleMania setups, let's see what else it's got. Okay, well, I mean, I knew it was going to try and book those, and that was going to be wrong. The Divas champion and Natalya, who I think is the top contender. Michelle McCool, who's the women's champion, and Beth Phoenix, who's the top contender. So it's just put all the women in a four-way matchup that doesn't involve anything to do with them. It did book that, but not as a Hell in a Cell match. It also double booked the Undertaker for some reason, and it did actually give Christian his Royal Rumble win match. So that's pretty good. It got one match half right in the end. But that Money in the Bank ladder match, hang on, I'm going to try something real quick. Don't worry, he'll be getting put right back on the brand. I'm just testing. I want to see how much the match changes if I change one of the participants like this. I want to see if just like he'll get swapped out or if everyone gets swapped. Kind of a bit of everyone, yeah. Rob Van Dam is staying, though, it's saying. I might have to take him off of SmackDown prematurely. Like, I know he's still got his match with Ezekiel Jackson, and I am still open to the idea of him winning it, too, because he's got a month, so if he does win it, it's fine. I'm not spoiling WrestleMania and saying he's not going to win it because he's leaving soon. Same with Jericho. He could win those titles. It just means he'll probably end up losing them before Extreme Rules, or at Extreme Rules, and then gone. It doesn't necessarily mean they're not going to win. Yeah, that does actually change the match quite rapidly. To be honest, that second one that it made, I liked a lot more than what it initially came up with. So that's interesting. The one it actually came out with second, I liked more. See, and that's fucking awful. So I'm going to have a lot of fun with that. What the final product of Money in the Bank is going to be, I cannot tell you. It is going to be a surprise. I'm going to probably just sit and screw around with the rosters until I get one that I actually am, like, okay with. Because I want the winner to actually get Money in the Bank. I don't want it to be that they win a 6-man ladder match because I changed the participants. So I'm not going to say what's happening there. I'm just saying it won't be those 6, that's for damn sure. It's going to be like 6 people that actually kind of make sense. Like that last one with Stone Cold and RVD was still in it, admittedly, and a few others. Like that one was alright. I don't mind that. So it's just going to take a bit of tweaking. But at WrestleMania, I'm actually going to be curious how many matches there will be. We've got 4, 8. The Hardcore title, the ECW title, the Cruiserweight title, and the Money in the Banks. We've got 12 matches coming your way at WrestleMania. 6 are going to have to be done through exhibition. That's crazy. We'll see you guys in the next episode. I am so ready for WrestleMania. I don't know when that'll be coming to you. I don't know if I've got enough time to record it now. No idea, but whatever. I'll see you guys later. Bye!